What's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so got everything I needed, and now headed back to the hotel. Hopefully I can check in with no issues and start the rest of my day. It's still early. It's probably not even 11 o'clock, I don't believe. And yeah, man, everything's going as smoothly as one would want it to. You know, I have no complaints. God has been especially kind to me. And you know, I just hope that he's doing the same for you out there. Not everybody's having a great day this morning, of course. In war-torn countries, nonsense taking place. So I just want to send good energy to you, whether you're having a great day or not so great day. Things do get better. Things do get better, especially if we put our faith in the Most High and do our part, which go hand in hand. So I think this upcoming week I'd like to get some exercise in, some work done. I got a playlist that I'd like to do art for. I got some music that came out last night that I got to sort through. It didn't look like it was that great of a night, but sometimes that can be deceiving. I remember a couple of times I thought it was a bad drop of music and ended up finding some great jazz or something, you know what I mean? So you never really know. And music sometimes gets released that you won't actually see on Apple Music because, of course, they have their priorities set on other aspects of things. They won't necessarily tell you about a certain drop. I've had certain artists that I really appreciate drop, and I don't find out that their album dropped until 2 or 3 weeks afterwards. So, because it may suggest a song from the album. Like, wait a minute, it's one of my favorite artists. Why don't I know that they dropped? And you know damn well I'm checking every Thursday night for everything that drops. So why wasn't it available to me? The truth is, they just don't put it out front. They put all the garbage out front, all the industry plants out front. But some of your favorite artists, some of the indie artists, stuff like that, you got to go searching for their music, or they won't release it on time or whatever. So who knows? That could be part of what goes on there. But yeah, man, it's another day at it, man. Trying to make some sense of everything I got going on. Still haven't talked to those people at the gastroenterologist. I was thinking about that last night because at the end of the day, man, health is first, man. Especially when you start becoming my age, it gets to a point where it's like you can't just do the same stuff. And when it comes to eating and stuff like that, I can barely eat grapes anymore. I had to throw away my grapes. And my body's continuing to add things to the list that I can't tolerate. But grapes has now become a part of it. After being able to eat grapes no problem, suddenly it causes different issues. So it's like, and I got to talk to these people, find out what the heck is the case, find out what's really going on inside of myself. Because doing all this exercise, I'm eating right, and I still look like I'm not eating correctly. I'm still hefty. You exercise as much as I do, and as you eat as well as I do, you should look like you have a six-pack. You should look, and I mean, you really should, but like when you have stomach issues, it can throw your whole metabolism off. And so that's what's happening to your boy right now. But I ain't stopped doing any of my exercise. I haven't stopped any of the things that I do. I haven't eaten any bad food. It's just, and I haven't in years, to be honest with you. It's just, you know, part of getting older, and it's part of having stomach issues. So just pushing forward, man. But yeah, man, I've been very thankful. Just the same, I had a few good days without having any issues until last night, and I know it was the grapes. I know for a fact it was the grapes. It wasn't the rice that I had. So that was encouraging. I just threw them grapes away, call it a day. So it is what it is, man. But you know, I'm enjoying the heat right now. It's starting to warm up. Very bipolar weather to start this year. I was just thinking, like last Thursday, or not last Thursday, but the last cycle, which was 3 Thursdays ago, it was storming. I had to, of course, go get the ATM card from down in Hawthorne. And that was one of the rainiest days I had seen in years. You fast forward to where we are right now, 3 weeks later, and you got a damn heat wave, and it's going to be like upwards of 90-something degrees next week. It's very bipolar weather, man. So, you know, we deal with it, and you just You know, don't know what to expect, pretty much is the way it goes. Just have no idea what to expect next. But yeah, man, thinking about the people in Gaza, man, they're still attacking people. I saw this morning some footage that came out that one of these Israeli settlers ran over a 5-year-old boy. 5-year-old Palestinian boy got ran over. Wow, Israeli settler. This morning or last night, I don't know when it happened, but the settler was essentially telling the police to arrest the boy's parents. And they were like, no, we're gonna arrest you. Now normally they protect these people, but I guess that's where they draw the line with that particular incident. I believe they arrested him. Most of the time, whatever the settlers decide to do, they have armed IDF soldiers backing them, regardless of how ridiculous the behavior is. That's just how they work. I also saw footage in Israel of people who were left out of the bomb shelters, because of course that place is getting bombed to Kingdom Come right now by all of its enemies basically at once. And of course, naturally, it was all the people who were not white that were packed into like this little hallway. All of the people who were not white. They had African people, looked like some people from the Philippines maybe, and some Indian people, all packed in this little hallway together because they weren't allowed inside of the bomb shelters. I'm the greatest ally, man. But why would we be surprised? And we're a racist country ourselves. So why would we have non-racist allies, right? It's ridiculous. I was listening to an excerpt. Another thing that I saw was Erica Kurt. I guess she was talking to a bunch of boys in some type of school of some sort or something like that. I don't know what the hell was going on there. But I didn't hear the context of what she was saying, but they got the excerpt floating around the internet, essentially with her saying, you know, we need strong white male boys. Strong white male boys. Or so, what's she say? Oh, male men. You know, especially white boys. White male men. Like, I'm like, a male is a man, first of all. You have to double down on that. It makes it sound like you're talking about a postal worker, sweetheart. But that was something that made a lot of people uncomfortable. But look, I'm gonna be honest with you. When it comes to that type of rhetoric, I don't doubt that there is a racist fashion of individual. Is that the word, Road? Facet of individuals? I don't think I have the right word. But a racist pack of individuals who are going to essentially, anytime they talk about excluding everyone else, it's going to automatically be because they have a hatred for others, right? But if I'm just to zoom out, if I'm talking to a bunch of white kids and I'm telling them I want them to be strong males, it shouldn't be that bad to say we need strong males, specifically you all, you know what I mean? Or specifically your kind. Because if someone was saying we need strong black males, if a black lady was talking to a bunch of black boys and said we need strong black males out here, nobody's gonna blink an eye. Nobody's gonna blink an eye. If a Hispanic lady's talking to a bunch of Hispanic boys and she says we need strong black Mexican boys, or strong Mexican men rather, here I am making the same mistake in a different way. But like, no one's gonna look at her funny, is essentially what I'm saying. No, it's only a problem when it's a white person saying that. And I don't necessarily feel comfortable with that. I don't necessarily subscribe to that. It doesn't mean that I don't see the problem. It just means that when you draw those type of lines, you create the environment of unnecessary resentment. And I think that's where a lot of the racist undertones come from, is from those type of lines being drawn where they unnecessarily should be. Yes, this is a society of not so kind people to one another. Okay. But we also have a society where a good portion of the people here happen to be white. And so, should they be excluded from being considered when it's time to empower individuals, or when it's time to speak life into individuals? Should we exclude them, but be willing to empower others specifically? I just think it creates an environment where people can hate you where they otherwise wouldn't. And this is why I talk about, like, it's so harmful that people do horrible things while representing a certain group. As a black person, it's harmful that if I do something I shouldn't do representing my group. It's harmful if Jewish people do evil things while representing the Jewish people. It's harmful when Mexican people do harmful things representing Mexican people. Because that's exactly what the world is going to see a lot of times. Like, you representing your people doing these things, this is what we think of you. And so if you do things that make people hate you, then they're going to hate your people. It's not the smartest way to think, but that's the way people are. And so when I say that it's harmful that white individuals stand with one another in the name of empowering whiteness and then proceeding to treat everybody horribly, yeah, that's going to create a world where people aren't going to want to see y'all empowering one another. They're never going to want to hear something like white power. It's always associated with the evil that has been done by people who've said that. You see what I'm saying? Now, if there was a history of individuals coming together, screaming white power, and then proceeding to do humanitarian efforts, helping people out who don't look like them, showering people with love in a multitude of ways, we would champion white power because it would be associated with something that is helpful to the world itself. And we would not blink an eye when a white woman would say to a white man, we need strong white men, because the understanding would be that she would be expecting those measures to be met in each of the men that she was talking to, not the measures that we associate with strong white men. The strong white man is likely, to our history and to what it is we understand, a colonizer. Someone who's highly racist. Someone's going to hate me not because of what it is that I do, but because of what it is I look like. Someone's going to want to take land from me, murder me, do horrible things to me, and ultimately hoard money for himself. That's what that looks like in this society. And it only looks that way because the people in the past who had the reputation of being strong behaved that way. And that's unfortunate to the people today who are trying to set their own standards, who want to push forward in their own representation of themselves and their people, who don't get a chance to be empowered through uplifting words due to something that came before them that had nothing to do with their merits and their choices. Just like I said about the individual who was pulled off of the plane because his alarm went off and he was set to pray in his Muslim faith, and now everybody thinks he's trying to terrorize the plane. If not for that energy that had been put out in regards to his people, in this case unfairly, but that's not the point we're trying to make, that it was put out there that this is what they are about, now everybody expects that that's what it is. Nobody's going to associate that with anything but doom and gloom. Reputations, so important. Setting the right standard for your people, so important. Being honorable and honest as a people is so important. As an individual representing people, so important. So that you don't do this type of damage to those who come after you. I tell you, I have in my mind people that I've appreciated when I consider a conversation like this, and how I would like for the world to be fair to them. When I'm talking to my homeboy Bilski, one of my good friends, his son, I can't empower him with the right words Or I'm supposed to be uncomfortable when his father empowers him when he says, I want you to be a strong white man when you grow up. We need more strong white men. That's my little nephew. You know what I mean? With respect, because I haven't met him in real life. But like, just off the strength of that being my boy Bilski's son, he's family and gonna be for the rest of his life. I got a niece who's half Caucasian, who's fair skinned. She looks just like my brother, so you're gonna know she's a black woman, but like, she may have children someday with a white man, and then she's gonna have white kids. Am I supposed to not empower them to be strong white kids because of some rhetoric that was associated with behaviors that are despicable? Or should I expect my brother would want her to raise her kids to be the standard, the new standard? I don't want demons writing the story for the people that come ahead of us. That's really what it comes down to, regardless of what people we are. I don't want demons to set the tone for that, to where it's wrong for me to empower my niece because of her skin color and what people who wore her skin color did in the past. I'm uncomfortable with that. A world where the demons tell the story. I'm uncomfortable with that. And you should be too. I'm not uncomfortable with co-signing the behavior that ultimately verifies or dignifies the demon in his actions for smearing an entire people. It's time for us to raise one another and teach one another how to set the standard for what we want to be going forward, and not necessarily co-signing the behavior that took place in the past that ultimately made it so that we look at each other differently and hold each other to different standards. If I say there should be a strong black boy out there, I want to hold him to a standard that's going to mean that he's going to love everybody, care for everybody, protect children, share what he has, and those type of things. And if I'm going to say the same for the black boy, then I'm going to mean the same for the white boy, and wanting him to be a strong white man, so to speak. You understand what I'm saying? Strong Mexican man, so to speak. Strong should stand for dignity, a representation of yourself that's going to pass forward a good reputation, undo the poor reputation that's been done by people in the past. That should be what that represents. Not some type of dog whistle for negative energy, or some co-signing of racism. It should not be. And so that's what I gotta say. I don't co-sign Erica Kirk because I haven't seen that she stands for anything that I would agree with. She's co-signing more of the same. I think she really do mean some evil stuff when she says that, but that's not the point. Point is, and if bad people are doing bad things while wearing certain skin, it's time to stop allowing those bad people to be dignified in that. It should be perfectly fine for anyone who means well to look at a bunch of young men and say, we need you to be strong regardless of your skin color. But if you're only one skin color, they're not dignifying that to specifically mean you. We need strong you out here. And if you're white, that's strong you. If you're black, that's strong you. If that's Hispanic, that's strong you. If you're Asian, that's strong you. If it's Indian, that's strong you. If you're Native American, that's strong you. We need strong you. But what does strong mean? It means that you're strong enough to represent yourself in a way that represents the people that you stand for, in a way that can be respected, in a way that can be championed, in a way that can be supported by everybody. And if you're not doing that with your strength, then you're doing it wrong going forward. Bdf 44, I thank you all for watching.